Hello, welcome to another session of QMI 1500 online lesson. So in this instance we're going to look at permutation. So this comes from the section on combination and permutation. So the question says the number of ways in which a president and a vice president can be elected from a class of 25 is. So what they want to know is, if you had a class of 25 students, 25 people, and you had to select a president and a vice president, in how many ways can we do this? So if you think about it, if we have 25, let's say it is represented by the letter of the alphabet, so it will be A to Y, for example. If we elected A as president and B as vice president, this is not the same as if we selected B as president and A as vice president, because if one is a president, it's not equivalent to them being a vice president. In another scenario, it's two different selections. So in this instance, order matters, and if order matters, then we are dealing with a permutation. So it's called a permutation because order matters. So if we select A for president, then B for vice president, like we said, it's not the same as selecting B for president and A for vice president. Although it's the same two people, but because of the roles of president and vice president, order does matter. A president is not necessarily equal to the vice president. The roles are slightly different, so we need to think of it like that. So what it means is that if we are to select the first position, then we'll have 25 possible candidates. So once you've selected one of the 25, we're left with 24. Then if you're to select for the second position, we're only left with 24 candidates, because one cannot be both president and vice president. So the minute they are selected into one position, then we are one student or one person less in terms of the number of people available for selection for the second position. So we've got 25 for the first position because all members are still available, and then we've got only 24 to work with in the second position because the one person has already been elected into one of the roles. So what happens is that if you think about it, if we've got 25 people and we select one person, so there's a possibility that A can be merged with 24 other people as the vice president. So that means for every selection in position A or first position, there are 24 other positions or likelihoods or choices of vice presidents. So that means the number of ways in which we can select both a president and a vice president out of a class of 25, it will be 25 times 24, which gives us 600. Because remember, for the first position we've got 25 candidates. Once we've selected that one candidate, we're left with only 24 for the second position. And for each selection in A, there are 24 possible routes we could take in position B. So it will be for each of the 25 candidates times 24 possible routes in position B or in the vice presidency. So we'll equal 600. So this is called permutation. So if you think about it, so what we have is that a permutation, on most calculators you would have the symbol NPR, where N is the total number of candidates, so in this case it will be 25, and R is the possible number of positions we have to fill. In this case it will be 2. So NPR, which in this case is 25, P2 permutation is equals to 25 factorial divided by 25 minus 2 factorial, because our equation for permutation is NPR is equals to n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. So it's n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. So you're coming back to the current setup. So we've got 25 factorial over 25 minus 2, all factorial. So that is 25 factorial divided by 23 factorial. But if you think about 25 factorial is the same as 25 times 24 times 23 factorial divided by 23 factorial. So then what happens is that the 23 factorials cancel out and we're left with 25 by 24, which gives us 600, like we had it previously. So for every, in this case, president's position, there are 25 candidates, and then if the second position we're selecting for is the vice presidency, we only have 24 candidates left. So we've got 600 possible ways of selecting both the president and the vice president out of a class of 25 students. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that.